I think as Gen Zs, we also have to open our minds and tujitume pia juu siku rahisi.
True, and what you're saying, before I interact with the HR practitioners, yes, you'd be telling your boss, I can't do this, but then how do you do that as a Gen Z? Ndio hata HR waelewe, but this is how Gen Zs talk. How do you do it, but then you do not sound rude, ama, impolite, kitu kama hiyo?
As an IR student, that is where you apply negotiation skills. So you have to be respectful, and also you have to articulate what you want respectfully, and so that to come up with an agreement. See, uende to kurusha maneno, no. You have to be respectful to your employer, and also unatumia negotiation skills zenye umelearn to. Yeah.
All right. Odhiambo, this particular word has cropped up a number of times, misunderstanding. And the Gen Zs are saying, and now at this point I'd be saying, we are saying that we are misunderstood by the employer. But then now, again, this shifts in traditional kind of careers. There isn't that leeway to actually getting this understanding where you're telling your boss, I want to do this because the structure of this work does not allow you to do that. As an employer, and for the employers who are listening to us tonight, how should they adapt to getting this, conversation skills, as Joyce is talking about, this conversation skills with the Gen Z in this workplace, where you tell them, I hear you?
I think one of the things we need to all employ is emotional intelligence. Their way of working, their way of thinking, their way of doing things is totally different. Them, they work on deliverables. They are not loyal. The millennials are loyal. It's 30 years award service. Gen Z's award 90. Yes, it's success story. It is 2 years, 3 years hip hop, like as much as, because one of the things is that they are purpose driven according to the roles. It's a role what gives them satisfaction. So the moment they've hit the bar, they don't want autopilot. It's next job. They keep applying. It doesn't matter whether it's locally or abroad. That's one of the things the employers need to do. So they are not loyal. Then the other thing is that...
And before we continue, is there a downside to that?
Yes, there is.
Because when, and as I was saying, as we look at even our parents, our grandparents, they've been they've been a civil servant for 50 years plus, and they've been so loyal to this. And we growing up, you see certain traits about them. But then for us, hopping from one place to another, what is the downside of that?
The downside of it is the lack of consistency. And when an employer looks at it, we come and look at it like you're not satisfied. Others, it plays on the remuneration part, it is a plus to the employee. But to the employer, they look at it with so many dotted lines, thinking, why are you working for so many employers for such a short duration? What is wrong with you?
Unatafuta experience.
Unatafuta experience, ipate hapo. And that is where I meant back to the law of consistency, where you'll find that motivation is what keeps people going, but discipline keeps you growing. So it's the lack of the discipline of being consistent in that particular role. Getting to know I need to move, and that's why they don't even obey protocol. They don't believe in going through up the organization structure like this all the way to CEO. It is I move here, I move here. They believe instead of going horizontal, they can do vertical like this. And that is them. And it's because of where they have come from, and also because even what the education system is able to provide, because they were told you can do everything. So they are like, they can do here, they can do there. But back to employers, I think it's good to embrace this particular paradigm shift, because we are coming to a season of these Gen Zs that will be able to be partaking 3 or 4 jobs, because they mentioned about gig economy. Before that, there was no gig economy. It is you reporting to TV 47, 8 to 5 or 8 to 9, and you go home. These ones, it's nothing like that. It is 6 hours in TV 47, your next gig. And life goes on. And that is where the world is actually shifting to. So there's a whole paradigm shift, including for the employer, to a point where the disclaimer of you're only going to work for this and only employer. No, Gen Zs will come and tell you that is not possible. After I live here, I have a life. And in my life, this is what I do. In fact, they're not even scared of saying their side hustles. In fact, they do their side hustles as they are doing their job. But they make sure they are doing their deliverables. So it's actually a cat and mouse game, but at the same time, getting to where the balances of the organization. The same thing positions, because if they succeed, if the same Gen Zs succeed out of your work jurisdiction, the employer is very happy to say, that is my employee. And so it's actually a way of getting to balance, both for the employers and also for the employees.
Right.